Alright guys, I'm going to do a quick knife review. I got this knife. If you remember, I did the 3x3 knife video and I showed my Tops Steel Eagle knife. And it was just a picture because I had, this is one of my most used knives, and I didn't have it because I had recently sold it right before that video, probably about a week or so before that video. Because I said that I was sold it to save money, because I'm not made of a ton of money. I can't buy a ton of knives. Although I loved that knife, I wanted to get this right here. That's why I sold it, to put the money towards that, because they retain their value because they're just good knives. But I sold it, saved up some money, and purchased this one. This is the Tops Anaconda, Tanto point. And a little bit longer than the other knife. It's a total of 15¼ inches long. Blade length is 9½ inches, and a cutting edge of 9 inches, and it is razor freaking sharp, as you can see. I cut myself with it already, and but I like to think of myself as like it's not broke in until you cut yourself with your own knife, if you know what I mean. So, but now it's broke in. Anyway, the blade thickness, it's a 1/4 inch. It's a 1/4 inch piece of steel. It's high carbon, 1095 high carbon steel on that too. And it's got the micarta linen, micarta handles. It's a Rockwell hardness 5658. Got the black traction coating on it. And I think it would be cool if they did one in their black stone wash coating that they do. I think that would be pretty cool. However, this is fine. It does keep the rust down because it's 1095. It will rust, so it weighs 23 ounces. I'm actually quite surprised for such a big knife. It's not as heavy as I thought it would be, and I just thought, I thought it would be a little bit heavier, but it's not. But it's got a good weight to it, like I said, 23 ounces. But this is designed by Ron Hood, and Ron Hood, I am not familiar with him. I was not familiar with him. I looked him up just to see who he was, and a lot of you probably already know who he is. He's he's a big-time bushcrafter, been in the field doing it for 40+ years. I guess he recently passed away several years ago, like 2011 or something like that. I know virtually nothing about him. I just know that he's got a big name, and he's been doing it for a long time. And I did not know who he was, but he designed this knife though, and this is the Hood's Woods, is what they call it, that model. But from what I saw on his website that he has, I guess his wife still runs it, but he had a saying on there, because he was a big advocate of big knives. He liked big knives, and he had a saying that says, you can do a small job with a big knife, but you can't do a big job with a small knife. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess so. And that's what's cool about this knife though. Even though it is a big knife, it can do small jobs. And I've already messed with it. I've already put some tests on it. As you can see, some of my coating's already coming off there. So, yeah. Let me demonstrate. I'll do some chopping with it, do a baton with it, because it's a chopper. Get this camera adjusted. I'm gonna try to do this all in one take here, so makes it easier on me. Anyway, let's try this piece of oak. It's on here. Let's turn it around. Man, that's some tough stuff. I'm telling you, it's tough stuff. Just to even get started. Yeah, it is tough stuff. This oak has been seasoning for 2 years now, 1.5 years. And yeah, look at that. It's dry, hard stuff. So you can even hear it. But it's cutting through it. just fine. Tip's good. Straight as can be still. And still sharp. So, yeah. Here's what I mean by the, so you got this choil right here. You got a choil, so you can actually choke up on it. See if I can get some good feathers off here. Better edge, looks like. Get some thin curls though. But yeah. You know, need to notch out a tent post or anything, sure can do it. But if you notice though, that it's got a downward swoop to it. So it's good for chopping, get it right in there. Especially grab it back here, it's got 3 good areas. Grab back here to do some heavy duty chopping, chop there, cut there, your normal hold, and then for your choil to get up close. And I've messed with this a little bit so far, and it does everything good, you know, so I really like it. And if you notice, it's got these saw teeth on it. Get a close-up look here. It's got these saw teeth on it right here, and it's not really a saw, it's just for notching. And that's one complaint that I had about my other knife, is that it had a saw back on it right here. Get this up close again a little bit. There we go. But it had a saw back on it right here, and it looked cool, and it did do notching and things like that. And like I said, it's not really a saw to saw down stuff. I mean, I guess you could use used it in an emergency, but it you know, if you go to baton with it, it would just tear up your baton because it would cut into that. But what this is for is for notching, making tent posts, deadfall traps, whatever. But it also has this little hook on it, kind of in a way, which is made for snapping wire. But also, they say you can, you know, if you have a pot that's like in your fire and it's got the handle on it, this little wire handle, is that if it's too hot to get in there, you can just hook that up and just pull it out. So that's kind of cool. But it's got jimping on it right here, a little thumb grip for in your choil right here. You know, it's got a pommel, it's got this paracord put on it. Now, here's the sheath though. It's got 2 pockets. It's big enough to put a Altoids tin in. I put one in it, and it's very, very, very tight in there. But they make different size Altoid tins, so I may use another one. But it's got a Kydex liner in there as well, which is cool. It's MOLLE backing. It's got the belt loop right here, and comes with their little whistle, their little survival whistle, and paracord strapped to your leg. But you know, Tops isn't known for making high quality nylon sheaths. However, they're okay. They do the job, and you know, there's plenty of stuff out there that you can replace it with. And I think a lot of their stuff they're starting to move to Kydex anyway, just a good Kydex sheath. But this is a good knife, you know. I don't really have anything to actually chop on it with, but I give a little demonstration here, you know. But I mean, it's a good chopper, you know. So I mean, it does good. So that's just kind of what I want to say. You know, when I got this, before I got it, I looked at some other knives. I looked at a few others. I looked at primarily an SE6, and man, it was a tough decision on that. It was a tough decision. This is the one that I originally wanted right here. But while I was saving money, I started looking at other things. You know, I started looking at SEs and K-bars and BK, all that stuff. And I was just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go with the one that I'm originally gonna get in the first place, you know, and that was this one, and I'm glad I did. I will get an SE6 eventually. Also want to get some smaller knives as well, just to have them. You know, I'm looking at some other things, some you know, another like an SE3, SE4, things like that, just different ones. Even some other Tops ones, you know, the Hog, the Bob, the Bracamo, all of those look cool. So, and would be good tasks, you know, for smaller tasks without having to break this one out all the time. But it's a good knife, man. You know, this is my 3rd Tops knife I've owned, and that's why I keep going back to them, is because I just know that they're good. Lifetime warranty. You know, anything goes wrong with it, but break it somehow, tip, whatever, send it in to them, they'll fix it. You know, they'll replace it. But just wanted to give you a little show real quick to say, hey man, you know, this is what I got. It's a good knife, you know, so I finally got me what I was wanting. So anyway, hope you like it. Hope all that. So anyway, keep it heavy.